Tonight, we learned most of the prairie dogs that just arrived months ago to the El Paso Zoo have died. 2 separate colonies went missing in as many years, and we are now learning the 2 incidents may have been related. ABC 7's Carrie Mannix joins us live now to explain. Carrie.
Stephanie, this all started in March of 2022. That's when zoo officials reported their prairie dog colony missing to a federal agency. They didn't make that public, though, until spring of 2023. And last August, they introduced a new prairie dog colony to the same exhibit. But we're learning tonight, the very same day that they introduced that prairie dog colony to that exhibit was the very last day anyone saw them.
We released a new batch of prairie dogs into there, and unfortunately, same thing happened. They just didn't come up.
El Paso Zoo Director Joe Montesano said they made several efforts to draw the animals out.
We began a massive evacuation of the exhibit, which is bucket by bucket, 5-gallon bucket by bucket, digging the dirt out of there and trying to find either a collapsed tunnel.
According to a report from the United States Department of Agriculture obtained by ABC 7, it states, quote, "The Chihuahuan Desert Exhibit Supervisor stated to the inspector that tunnel collapse appeared likely in many places where the dead animals were found," end quote. The report also states at least 1 prairie dog died due to infection. Both Montesano and an expert on prairie dogs said the animals likely got sick and were too weak to dig their way out.
My hypothesis that the ones that were the original colony got sick, the disease was still there. They bring in these 12 new ones and they get sick immediately, and then they all die.
Expert John Hoagland said there's a lesson to learn here.
We learned that when prairie dogs die, you just don't put more prairie dogs in there. You have to really clean house and start all over and make sure that you maximize the chance that the new ones will make it.
The USDA report also said, quote, "More animals might have been found alive if the facility did not delay more intensive measures to actually locate and observe them." But Montesano disagrees.
There was no delay. The problem was the net they made us put up made it hard for us to get in there and with any machinery and dig around. Plus, you can't really go in with a machine because you could kill them in the process of excavating the dirt.
And Montesano said the zoo will not take in another colony of prairie dogs. As for those 2 survivors, they're taking care of them until they're well enough to send somewhere else.
That report outlined several other concerns about the zoo.
Yeah, Stephanie, that's right. The Association of Zoos and Aquariums brought up several concerns. But 2 of note were that 1, there's no diversity, equity, access, and inclusion program. The AZA even went as far to call the support between the organization and the zoo toxic. The second brought up concerns of firearm safety. Montesano said every zoo needs firearms in case a dangerous animal escapes, but he said both those concerns were either addressed already or are currently being addressed. And of course, we'll have more details for you later tonight on KVIA.com, and always we'll keep you updated on air and online. Stephanie?